Hello, my name is Richard Law, and I'm with the Society of Field Inspectors. SOFI is the short name, SOFI, SOFI. And I just want to chat with you a little bit today about the field service inspections. My name is Richard Law, that's spelled Law. And SOFI is a networking organization. We help companies find field reps, and we help field reps or field inspectors find companies to get work from. Today we have about 8,500 members. We're located in Central Florida. We're about 40 minutes northwest of Orlando. And our website is www.fieldinspector.com. Today I'm talking to home inspectors. This little presentation is specifically made for home inspectors, and when I say home inspectors, I'm talking about inspectors that work for the buyers of real estate to inspect residential properties to determine their condition and to call out any problems that may be part of the problem with the property. The inspection job, the home inspection job, is a very important job in the real estate industry. I was in the real estate industry for many, many years as a real estate broker up in Northern Virginia. And I worked with a lot of home inspectors. I worked with some of the best home inspectors up there that inspected properties for the buyers, my customers, my clients, for buyers who were buying real estate. With home inspections, of course, training is required. You just can't say you're a home inspector and be one tomorrow. You need to know a lot of things: electrical, plumbing, roofing, and everything about a residential property. And in most states, probably all the states, test the capabilities of the inspector and also license the inspector. The one thing you do find with home inspections is they're very much affected by real estate activity. If the real estate market is strong, then the market for home inspectors is very strong. If you've got a declining market or a recession or depression, then real estate inspections can become a real problem for trying to get some work. So home inspectors are affected by the real estate climate, so to speak. There will be booms, there will be recessions, and you need to cover both segments of the economy. Home inspections are also seasonal in the northern climates. And you find in the cold climates, the northern part of the U.S., that buyers are pretty much out there in the spring and summer and fall. And then in the wintertime, it's a very slow season for buying. So for home inspectors, the wintertime can be really tough or slower up in the northern climates. And I found over the years that many home inspectors compensate for this weather phenomena, so to speak, by doing other things. And some of those other things can be performing field inspections out in the field. But even in good times and even in fair weather, I know a lot of home inspectors who also go out and will do field inspections, maybe a quick inspection on the way to a home inspection, or maybe a quick field inspection on the way back from a home inspection. So home inspectors kind of fit in some field inspections around their other activities. Home inspector is a independent contractor. Okay, they work for themselves. They're 1099 workers. They do their own marketing. They do their own work usually. Sometimes they hire other extra people to do it, but for the most part, they're one-person companies as far as the field part of it. As I said, business varies during the year. Winter times in northern climates can be slow. The real estate market is seasonal, and that affects the amount of work you can get in the wintertime. Although some home inspectors will work throughout the year because they'll do some extra work even in the summertime when they're busy. Because if they can do a $50 commercial business verification, it takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes on the way to a home inspection, then that's just extra money to pay for expenses. When you're an independent contractor, you need a backup to the backup to the backup to the backup. I've been both an employee and an independent contractor. And in my case, I found that as a real estate broker, an agent, that I could also perform some field inspections when I was kind of out and about, and just do the easy stuff, do the stuff that was interesting. And then I could just make some extra money because I was in that same area anyways. So who are some of the people, the persons, and there's both men and women that do field inspections. It's not just limited to men. There's a lot of women out there that do field inspections. We at Sophie, we have about 8,500 members, a little bit more than that. And if you look at who comprises those members, of course, the members include the hiring companies, of course. But as far as the people out there in the field doing the work, we run into a large diversity of people. Some are home inspectors, some are realtors, appraisers, pastors, couriers, notary agents, librarians, process servers, police, health workers, and firemen. Because in this group here, a lot of them work kind of different hours, Sometimes they'll work for a couple of days at a time, and then they'll be off for a couple of days at a time. You'll get people that work maybe at an Amazon distribution center that work evenings and early mornings and have a good part of the rest of the day available to do field inspections and daylight hours. You do need daylight hours to do field inspections. People doing DoorDash and Uber, sometimes they'll go out, maybe they'll be in the north side of town, and they'll be doing some inspections up there, and then maybe they'll sign in a DoorDash or Uber and pick up a ride and maybe head back to the airport or some other place where they have some other inspections they can do. So that kind of fits in with that. Merchandisers, they're out restocking end caps at pharmacies and retail stores. So they're out and about. Mystery shoppers, they're out and about doing different tasks. So anytime you can be out in the field and doing a task and do more than one task and stay in a small area, you'll just be more efficient and make more money. You can do field inspections part-time, or you can do it full-time. There's many that do it part-time. There's many that do it full-time. Again, the people that are doing it part-time have another job, or maybe they're semi-retired, maybe they're seniors, and they're doing it part-time for some extra income. Maybe they don't want to work full-time. And then you got some full-time people that's all they do. They just do field inspections. And that's usually easiest when they're in a larger metropolitan area where there's a larger population density. Because in rural areas, it's just much more difficult. In fact, in rural areas, sometimes you almost have to price inspections individually, depending on where you're located. So over the years, I've kind of discovered or maybe classified the different ways or the key to making money. It's kind of like Pizza Hut. You know, the Pizza Hut driver, uh, they are delivering a pizza, you know, that's been ordered. And when they deliver that pizza to you, they maybe have 4, 5, 6 other pizzas in the car, in the vehicle, you know, on the back seat or in the trunk that they're going to deliver. So the key for them for them to make money is to cover a small area and deliver multiple pizzas in that small area and get multiple tips without having to do a lot of driving. Okay, just kind of cover an area and deliver a bunch of pizzas in that area. So in field inspections, it kind of comes down to working for multiple firms. Okay, most field inspectors work for more than one company. Okay, if they're doing it part-time, they might be working for 5 or 6 companies. If they're doing it full-time, they might be working for 10 or 12 companies. They also, a key to making money is servicing a small area. You don't want to be covering a big area. You just want to stay close to home, and you want to stay close to the area that you normally travel in. You also, to make money, you want to be working for the on the commercial inspections, just because they're higher fees, they're friendlier, they're safe. The company that you're visiting, the facility you're visiting, can't get what they want until you've been there, so they welcome you. The inspections are interesting. You know, you'll learn things from them. The commercial inspection firms are higher quality firms. They seem to have better staff. They pay you more. They pay their staff more. They're more organized. Most of the companies are national companies. They cover the whole U.S. or maybe regional. They, you know, cover a coast, you know, East Coast or West Coast, but usually they're bigger companies. The inspection companies you want to avoid are the mortgage inspection companies. I call them mortgage order mills. And the type work they have is door knock inspections. This is where you're knocking on the door of a delinquent home borrower. And these can be unsafe because you never know what's on the other side of a door, okay? And if someone's delinquent on their mortgage and may lose their home, may be foreclosed on, then they're not going to be happy campers. And so knocking on doors is not a good idea. Also, these mortgage order mills don't pay anything. You know, they pay me maybe $3, $4, $5, and that's not a lot of money for the amount of risk and the amount of time you're spending there. The same mortgage order mill is also ask you to pay for a background check. In New York, that fee can be as much as $150 in the city area. And you find that almost all the U.S. companies, you know, from AT&T to Raytheon to J.P. Morgan Chase to Bank of America to Lowe's to Home Depot, probably 99% of all U.S. business does not ask a job applicant to pay for a background check. But when you get over in the mortgage segment for these low-fee mortgage inspections, they all ask you to pay for a background check. The same companies ask you to get E&O insurance, which is $1,200 to maybe $1,500. And then going back to commercial, you know, none of that happens. They don't ask you to get insurance. They don't ask you to pay for background checks. And they pay higher fees. So mortgage inspections is a segment you want to avoid. Some of these firms pay the low fees and they only pay you monthly. Okay, some of them have chargebacks. You know, if you go to a property and there's some tiles missing off the roof and you miss it and there's a roof leak, then they charge you back for a roof replacement. So, you know, it's called a chargeback, and that happens. Okay, these same mortgage order mills have a real history of bankruptcies, so they're some of the worst firms out there. When you're working for a field service company, you want to be paid weekly or biweekly, and you don't want to get involved with monthly payments. The residential insurance, even the pay on these is somewhat low, or in fact, it is low, $9 to $15, and they're a lot of work. You need sketches, you need roof photos, you need a pole camera, you need sketching software, you need a walking wheel. You're going into backyards, looking at swimming pools and trampolines and other things, and the insurance companies are supposed to communicate with the occupant of the property and tell them you're coming, but oftentimes that communication fails, and you get there and you ring the bell and nobody answers, and so you assume it's vacant, and you go in the backyard to look at something, and then somebody's wondering what you're doing back there. So the residential insurance, I really don't like those either. I kind of like the commercial, and I like the easy to do commercial. And I like some of the more detailed commercial too. One of the more detailed commercial is the commercial insurance loss control inspections. These are kind of classified into two levels, an entry level. And here you're looking at ISO construction classes for, commercial buildings. You're looking at fire sprinkler systems, commercial cooking, flammables, trip and fall hazards, fire extinguishers, pools. You're looking at a lot of stuff there where you're looking at it from a safety point of view. Okay, you're looking at really safety issues, and these do require some training. You'll need to know what to look for in all these. And commercial cooking equipment, you're looking at the vented hoods, you're looking at cleaning schedules, you're looking at manual pulls, you're looking at a lot of technical things, which really kind of fits in with what home inspectors do anyways, okay? And you'll be looking at circuit breaker panels. You won't be pulling the panel cover off, but you'll look for, loose wires, paint hazards, all that stuff, okay? So that's a good place to be. That will require a little bit of training to kind of get in there, so you know what's right and what's wrong. Another segment or part of that is the mid-level loss control, and that's liquor liability, where you go into restaurants and bars and look at how they run the operation. You're looking at workman's comp. You're going to facilities to see how they handle processing materials and vision protection, hearing protection, other type things. Make sure that forklift drivers are licensed or qualified. Fleet inspections, where you're looking at fleets of vehicles. It could be semis, it could be buses, and you're determining if if they're maintained properly, if there's logs of maintenance, if there's logs of training, if the drivers are not spending too much time behind the wheel. So that's a fleet inspection. There's specialized inspections, paint booths, sawmills, where there you've got hazardous health and fire problems that could occur, so you have to kind of look at those in a special way. But there is training required for the commercial insurance loss control, just because you need to know what's right and what's wrong. The one nice thing about that too is you can move up as you gain experience in working on looking at different properties. You can move up to higher levels and make more money by working as a underwriter's inspector, working directly for the insurance underwriters. So there's some potential to move up and up and up there. And when you do that, usually you're working on larger facilities. It could be a large mall. It could be a light manufacturing facility. It could be a large office building, a huge hotel. It could be just about anything there. So this type of work here in the commercial insurance loss control does require some training, and we have that training at the Sophie store. You can go up there and take a look at that. It's Sophie, SOFI, store.com, and you'll see all our different trainee products up there. But but starting out, and everyone kind of starts out at the same level, you're going to be doing $35 to $50 inspections that maybe take about 10 minutes on site. Probably give you 3 to 5 days to do the work and get a short report in. Some of these inspections are things like business verifications, where you just kind of really verifying that a business exists in a certain area, and maybe spend about 10 minutes on site and maybe take 4 or 5 photos. Merchant site inspections, again, someone is collecting debit cards or credit card information, and you want to just verify that they look like someone that should have access to that information, and that the information they put on their application form is correct. Draw inspections, these are just residential inspections, building progress reports, where a home is being built and you're measuring the progress and reporting the progress on the home, where it's at. And usually it's probably 4 or 5 inspections for a home that's under construction. There's things like freight inspections, where freight's damaged in transit, and you're asked to go there and look at it and take some photos of the packaging material and see how it's being handled. Some of the inspections you'll get are continuous. You're going to the same facility or dealer every time. These are called floor plan inspections or collateral inspections. And there you maybe go into a John Deere dealership or a Toro landscaping dealer, maybe some leased equipment. Again, you're looking at draw inspections, and that's going to the same property about 5 times. I've done construction equipment where I was there every couple months looking at it and seeing what was there. I've done boats and marina, same thing. I've done construction equipment in the field on construction sites. So a lot of it is just verifying information when it comes to a floor plan inspection. To get started, go up to www.fieldinspector.com. You'll also find a free ebook up there called 13 Easy Steps. Membership is free. You can go up to the website at fieldinspector.com and click on the button there. Or you can go direct. You can go to joinsofi.com. That's joinsofi.com. There's also some great videos you can watch about field inspections. They're up at Sofi, SOFI.video. And those little video will tell you more about what field services is all about. It'll talk about marketing, how to get the word out to companies that you're available to do work. And the videos will walk you through some of the more common type of inspections to give you an idea of what they're really all about. We also have some Sofi podcasts or audios up there. And they'll give information if you call a company, who to ask for. When asking questions, which questions you should ask, the order in which you should ask questions. So that's important. The Sofi store, you can go up to sofistore.com. And up there we have a national field service directory, which lists about 80 high quality companies that you can introduce yourself to get work. We also provide, with that directory, as we provide a PDF which lists about 8,500 field inspectors with their contact information and who they are, what they do, and where they do it, specialties that they have. And that's good for networking, because you can contact those other field reps direct and introduce yourself and share information. And the ones you want to talk to are the ones that are far away from you, or the ones that you don't compete with. because then you can share information both ways, and you know, you're not affected, your business is not affected, they're not competitors. We do a lot of resume design. We design a one-page flyer that says who you are and what you do and where you do it, and that's very effective in your marketing, because you've got about 10 seconds to get a company's attention and tell them who you are and what you do and where you do it. We have training products up there on different types of inspections that'll help you understand what they are and help you perform the inspection. Everything that we offer at the Sophie store has a satisfaction guarantee, so there's no risk to you. You can follow Sophie on Twitter. Our identifier up there is Sophie, SOFI _ Richard Law, LAW, and follow us up there. So kind of summarizing what I've said so far is independent contractors really need a backup to the backup to the backup to the backup. You know, who knows what's going to be happening in 23, but I think there's going to be some problems out there in 2023. I think the real estate market's going to be slow. I think there's going to be some layoffs in some areas. Interest rates are high and they're going to stay the same or maybe go a little higher. So there's some problems there. So having a backup so you can do more things in a small area is just a good idea. The commercial inspections are the best. I would ignore everything else. They pay the higher fees. They're safe. They're interesting. Okay. You know, we don't want anyone going out there and getting hurt, you know, in an unsafe neighborhood, knocking on doors. So stay with commercial and you'll be okay. Keep your area small and work for multiple firms. You know, you're not going to work for just one. You're going to work for multiple companies in that small area. Network with other inspectors. I mean, that's key. But, you know, if you're in Florida like I am, the best people to talk to are those people in Dallas or San Diego or Seattle, okay, because they're far away. And what I do is if I call a company or actually another inspector, if I call another inspector, let's say in San Diego, I will start the call off by saying, hey, listen, I'm a field inspector here and I'm here in Orlando and you're in San Diego, so we don't compete with each other because we're so far away. And what I'd like to do is share a little information with you, some of my good information, and perhaps you could share some of your information with me. And that upfront conversation usually works to keep them on the phone and keep them talking or her talking. And when I say him or her, there are a lot of men and women that are doing field service inspections. So it's not limited to just one group of people. There's men and women, and they both do a great job. So that's a good way to find out more good information from other people. You know, sometimes somebody might hang up on you, but most of the time they don't, and they'll share some good information with you. I've learned a lot of stuff from other people. Avoid the low fee mortgage door knock inspections. Those are, you know, losers. Pick and choose, you know, who you're going to work for. You're not going to work for everybody. You're going to work for the ones you like, that sound like they have work that you're interested in. So learn to say no, you know, find what fits you. Get some training, get some experience, keep moving to higher and higher and higher levels where you'll make more money. Do the networking every day, you know, make a couple calls every day. I think that's important. And like I said, network with those that are far away from you. And I just went through that, what to say when you when you call someone that's far away, so that you can make sure they understand that you're not a competitor. Direct marketing is key. You're going to get jobs by contacting high quality companies, by email, calling them on the phone to introduce yourself, going up to their website and signing up for their service. But direct marketing is going to be key. To help you with that direct marketing, like I say, we have that National Field Service Directory, which is printed, it's paper, we mail it to you, and that lists about 80 of the national and regional companies that cover your area, that cover the states. I design a lot of resumes. You can review the resumes that I've designed up at Sofi, SOFI-resumes.com. And again, they're very bright, colorful, bold headers, bold fonts, bold colors that say who you are, what you do, and where you do it. And you need to get that information out to a company because they're only going to spend about 10 seconds looking at it, and there's enough to look at in those 10 seconds to get you a job if they have some openings. Call me if you need help. My name is Richard Law, Law. I'm in Florida. My telephone is 321-543-2809. My email is richard@law.name, N-A-M-E. The website again is www.fieldinspector.com, and you'll find some great videos at www.sofi.video. So what you need to do is kind of do your research, go up and look at some of these web links, and decide if that's something that's for you. You know what home inspections is, and you're out there doing it. But is there something else you can do that's kind of a backup to what you're doing now? That'll just you can do in the same small area you normally operate in, anyways. And things that you can do with a little bit more effort and make more money, and just decide if that's something for you, and then decide how you want to fit in. And then if you have any questions on anything, you can give me a call, and I'd be happy to chat with you. You can reach me at 321-543-2809. If you miss me, just leave a message and I'll get back to you. You can also text me at that number, 321-543-2809. So I hope that this 30 minutes or 33 minutes, it's just kind of a summary of what's out there, but I hope it's enough to kind of help you decide if this is something you want to look into and research a little bit more, or something maybe you're just not interested in at all. But like I say, if you have any questions, give me a call. Take care.